Let's take a look inside some celebrity kitchens. I'm trying 5 celebrity dinner recipes, and the star of the show is chicken. And I'm starting with Amy Poehler's chicken curry. Probably one of the funniest women that exist. So it starts with bone-in chicken breast. Yes, I washed my hands, people. Sometimes we just edit that out because you don't want to see me wash my hands 75 times today, do you? Somebody really commented and said they watched one of my videos and said they didn't think I ever washed my hands. Then 2 cups of rice, basmati or jasmine. Now, because she was just interviewing, she probably didn't leave off every little detail, but I'm going to assume she put a little bit of salt in here. Surely she did. She seems to know what she's doing in the kitchen. She does 2 cups of rice and 3 cups of chicken broth. And then 1 can of coconut milk. I'm also gonna assume it's the full fat coconut milk because the other stuff is just water. And then no measurements on the next ingredient. It's curry. She just says a whole bunch of curry. Now that could be curry powder. It could be curry paste. I think that's the more obvious answer. I'm tempted to do the whole jar, but I'll start with at least half. Sometimes she adds some chickpeas. Just gonna give them a little drain and rinse, and then that's it. And then she just says she cooks it at 375 for about an hour, stirring throughout occasionally. I'm more excited about this than I thought I was gonna be. It's looking good. Now we've got these big bone-in chicken breasts, so we are gonna wanna shred those up a little bit. The rice is almost a little overcooked, but the method, I mean, it does work better than I thought it was going to. Looks good. I like the way the rice is kind of caramelized. Do wish it was a little saucier. It's more of like a chicken and rice casserole with a curry flavor. She'd be fun to cook with, though. If you're watching, you want to come cook? I'd be a good hang. Okay, let me make it $1 million. It's all about the taste. I'm not going to be overly critical if the flavor's good. It is really good. I think I'm a little distracted that it's called chicken curry because I want more curry. I want more sauce. But I think if you want to make this and this technique, love it. Let's just cut the rice back by like half and you'll get cooked rice and still a sauce. And I like that she took flavors that you love and put it together in a real life, easy to make package on a busy weeknight, that type of thing. I'm just gonna go a 7.5, but it's a solid 7.5, and I think you should make it. This recipe is from the late, great Chuck Norris. We are making his white chicken enchiladas. Before you come at me, we know, like I always say here, we know these are not authentic Mexican enchiladas. So it starts with a can of cream of chicken. This is gonna be our sauce. A cup of sour cream, diced green chilies. Sort of wanna add the whole can, but I know how y'all are when I don't copy their recipes exactly. And then it just says a splash of milk to reach your desired consistency. I feel like I'm gonna want definitely more than a splash, and that's more than a splash. Also, doesn't say anything about salt and pepper here. I mean, there's a good bit of salt in the cream of chicken. Okay, then take flour tortillas. He does not specify a size, but I also know it doesn't really matter. You just get whatever you wanna fit in your casserole dish. It says to dip the tortilla in the sauce, then fill it up with chicken and cheese. Roll them up, and you know the drill. Seam side down into your casserole dish. Now it just says to pour the rest of the sauce over the top. That is the best part. And then top it with the rest of the cheese. Into the oven, 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until it's hot and bubbly. They look good, but we knew they weren't going to. I should probably let this sit for a second, but who's got time for that? Creamy white chicken enchiladas. He's not lying. I don't like the roof of my mouth, so I'm just gonna dig right in. Tastes like home. This recipe is as tried and true as he was. It's very nostalgic. It's perfect. It works out exactly as is. Ease, flavor, comfort level. I am gonna go a solid 8. Solid 8, Chuck. Good job. Next up is my man, Stanley Tucci. We are doing his chicken soup with mozzarella. You know how some celebrities think they're chefs? I think Stanley Tucci was a chef before he was a celebrity because he knows what he's doing. So it starts with bone-in chicken. To that, we're adding in chicken broth. I'm sure his is homemade. All right, and then we're gonna cook this just until it's done, and then we'll shred it up. This chicken soup also has tiny chicken meatballs in it. So you're getting double double chicken, and I kind of like that. These are just really simple meatballs in his recipe. It's just 1 egg, a little parsley, a little pecorino romano, and some breadcrumbs, and then salt and pepper. Does state to stir this with a fork, so that's what I'll do. And then in the soup, it's gonna be really tiny meatballs. Have some water ready, like my Italian grandmother taught me. It's gonna help roll the meatballs. Wet your hands. This might be a time to bring the kids in to help, because this is gonna make a lot of meatballs. I'm just gonna keep rolling, and then we kind of bring it all together. A couple more steps, but I'm loving all the flavor. All right, meatballs are ready, and our chicken is cooked. So I'm going to take the chicken from this pot. I'll let that cool and shred it up, and then into this broth, I'm gonna cook our meatballs just for about a minute, just to kind of gently poach them. Just that 1 pound of inexpensive chicken breast made 40 tiny meatballs. You might say, well, why don't you just do this later? Because this soup comes together in a casserole dish. Weird, I know, but we trust Stanley. Only takes about a minute. You might have to do this in a couple batches, but super easy. In his cookbook, he tells you what to serve it with. Like, this will be good with a crisp glass of white wine. I'll be having that. I love the flecks of parsley in there. Cooking our chicken and our meatballs in that broth is really fortifying that broth. So our broth is going to be super savory and intense in the best way possible. Okay, meatballs are done. Then we're gonna take this broth, strain it out just to get those little bits of chicken out. And we go in with another 4 cups. So now that creates our broth. By adding something green, again, we're turning this into a full meal. We've got our hearty chicken and chicken meatballs. This is escarole. Escarole is a really bitter green. You could sub in Swiss chard or kale here for a little less bitterness. It's just gonna take out a little bit of that bitterness. You only have to do it for about 30 seconds to a minute. He says to do it in water and then, do it as a separate step. There's no reason we can't just do it right here in this broth. Kind of darkens and sets that green color. Okay, so here's how it goes. I'm going to follow my instructions verbatim. You pour 1/2 cup of chicken broth in the dish. Then we take 1/4 of our escarole, put that down. Then we go in with 1/4 of our meatballs, 1/4 of our shredded chicken, another cup of broth, and 1/4 of the mozzarella, and 1 tablespoon of more pecorino romano. And then we're gonna do this a few more times. I can just see him making this at home. He's so just chill, and the ingredients are simple. He's sitting there with his wine, just talking to his wife and enjoying life. We need to do more of that. Maybe this is a Sunday dinner, a slower Sunday dinner. Last layer of mozzarella and a little more pecorino. And then he gets even crazier. He pours over a beaten egg. Also very Italian to add in like a little egg into everything. Okay, now this soup finishes in the oven. It just bakes at 350, takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Smells divine. The egg just kind of stayed on top. I didn't know if it was gonna sink or not. Maybe it was supposed to. I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm told. I am surprised at how much of a soup it is, the way we layered it in there. This is it. I don't know about all the floating cheese in there. Well, I just feel like you're judging me. It doesn't really bother me at all. He said serve it with crusty bread, which I have. I'm also gonna put a little more black pepper on it. I forgot one thing. He said it just goes well together. Who am I to argue? Gold spoon seems appropriate. A little bit of that, a little bit of escarole. Immediately, yes. Immediately, it's a chicken soup you've never had before. That broth is so creamy, but light at the same time. Let me taste the meatball. Mm-hmm. This tastes like not just a warm hug, but a sophisticated Italian warm hug. The escarole now is not bitter at all. I'll make sure he's right about this. Oh yeah. And he says you can turn it into a complete meal by adding in a little crusty bread. The flavor is a 10 out of 10. The only reason I'm gonna have to deduct points is because of the amount of steps and pots and pans that I think are going to deter you from making it. But if you trust me, you will still make this. To balance those scores out, Stanley, 8.5. Eva Longoria up next. I used to want to look just like her. She has a cookbook, several years old, but I found something in here with chicken that we gotta make. Hot chicken salad. So I'm starting with a little celery. I mean, remember Desperate Housewives? That was when TV was real good. Green onions next. Also going in with 4 cups of cooked diced chicken. And now it just starts getting really delicious. A can of artichoke hearts that you chop up. Then in goes a cup of sliced almonds, and then lemon, cheese. This is Colby Jack cheese, and then salt and pepper. Mix that up. So what's different about this casserole versus those poppy seed chickens is that we don't have a can of cream of in here, but we do have a cup of mayonnaise. It's a great binder, adds creaminess and flavor. Now, one more thing. A crunchy topping. Of course, potato chips. Makes total sense because with chicken salad sandwiches, you're gonna have potato chips. Crush them up on top. Now we just go into the oven, 375 for about half an hour. Looks good and bubbly around the edges. Love that potato chip topping. I'm more excited about this than I thought I was. This is right up my alley right here. Ooh, it is cheesy. It's got all my favorite perfect bites. Cheesy, creamy, and crunchy. Eva Longoria's hot chicken salad. Maybe I am gonna like all those almonds in there. That is delicious. I wish I had a more creative word for it, but I don't. It's definitely a rich and indulgent dinner. It just feels that way with all the cheese and the mayonnaise, but the little bites of crunch from the almonds and the potato chips, A+. I didn't think she'd beat Stanley Tucci, but it's a solid 9. I can't really find anything super wrong with it. Try it for yourself. Remember Bieber Fever? This recipe is Hailey Bieber's date night chicken parm. Date night meaning Justin and Hailey Bieber enjoy this dish on a date night. Here's what I like about celebrity recipes. I like confirming their celebrity recipes by being able to watch them actually make it. Then I know that it's really their recipe. Obviously, she is gluten-free or at least eats that way. So this is not our typical Italian take on this, but she made it look pretty good, so we'll see. Start by pounding chicken cutlets. They're already thin. This is just gonna make them a little thinner, give them a little more surface area, and tenderize them just a bit. Now, she uses a keto flour, which I couldn't find, but it is obviously gluten-free. It has some almond flour, some coconut flour. I'm gonna do my best to recreate that. So I'm going in with a little gluten-free flour and some almond flour, which is usually in the keto flour. Hoping that'll give it a little crunch too. Okay, and then she seasons it specifically with 24 herbs and spices. Didn't know this existed, but smells delightful. So 24 herbs and spices, some salt and pepper, oregano and garlic. I don't have any problems with this. And egg wash, so I'm just gonna do some eggs and water. All right, then she just dips her chicken in the egg wash and in the flour mixture. Now, typically you would go flour, egg, and then breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese. We haven't hit the Parmesan cheese yet. It is not in these steps, per her recipe. I'm sure it'll be good, but I don't know that we can call it chicken parm. She did coat it pretty liberally in this stuff. I'll do it twice since she didn't go into full details. And hers looked thicker coated than this. Now we cook them in a skillet and then we put them in the oven. Skillet, we're just gonna sear them. She didn't use a lot of oil. Plus, they're so thin, they're not gonna take long anyway, probably just about like 4 minutes. She did actually say that. Okay, here goes nothing. Let's flip. Pretty good. Hers did not look that brown because she didn't really have any oil in there. So I'm just gonna go about another minute. I've got my spicy vodka sauce. This is ready. Now we build. She does it in a separate baking dish. However, if you wanna do this at home, I think you can just go straight from the skillet to the oven. Put a little olive oil down. Then she slathers it with some spicy vodka sauce. She cooks it to where she sees the sauce kind of bubble up in the pan. And she topped it with fresh mozzarella. And here comes the parm to the chicken parm. Yeah, it's not gonna be bad. And then she puts some fresh basil leaves on the top. Looks good and fancy and rich, like rich people. Then into the oven, 375, till that sauce starts to bubble, and then she turns on the broiler for a few minutes. Hailey Bieber's chicken parm, hot and bubbly. All right, she specifies gluten-free fusilli, which they do make good gluten-free pastas now, but I think it's important to cook it a little bit underdone, otherwise it kind of gets mushy. A little more sauce on it. Okay, and now our parm, the star of the show, chicken. Looks good, I'll give it to her. Okay, we did it. Hailey Bieber's and Justin Bieber's date night chicken parm. Feels cooked pretty perfectly. Flavor's quite nice. I love the use of the spicy vodka sauce. Gives a little more interest. I'm gonna come over here and taste just the chicken. If anything slathered in cheese is gonna be good, but I need to see how our keto flour gluten-free chicken parm is. That breading really did get a little bit crunchy and toasty, and it's not overly soggy. Definitely better than I thought it was gonna be. Now the sauce, she even said, was not her recipe, so she really can't take full credit for this, but I'm just kind of going on the chicken and her method for making this. Hailey, it's a good chicken parm. I will give you that. And perfect to call it date night because it is spicy. The only thing I can't fully embrace is the fact that it really isn't quite chicken parm. I'm going to give it a solid 8. It's another good 8. We know chicken is on the menu at least 3 or 4 times a week in our houses. Maybe one of these recipes will inspire you to try something new. I think my favorite of the day is probably Stanley Tucci. He definitely inspired me to try something new. Love it.